Hi, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about the third motivation that we set every morning as we first wake up or later when we remember it. And the third one is, today may I generate bodhicitta, and may that profound motivation direct the actions of my body, speech, and mind. So bodhicitta has two aspects to it. It's a primary mind that has two aspirations. One is the aspiration to benefit others in the greatest way, and the second is the aspiration to become a fully enlightened Buddha in order to do that. So this is a tall order. I found in, I think it was Geshe Sonam Rinpoche's book on the Bodhisattva vows. I think that's where I got this. He talked about four forces through which the altruistic intention or bodhicitta can arise, which I thought was quite interesting. So the first is through the force of one's own extensive thought and initiative. And the second is through the force of others' inspiration and encouragement. The third is through the force of causes formed by prolonged familiarity with the altruistic intention in previous lives. And the fourth is through the force of applying the instruction on how to develop the altruistic intention that one has received from a spiritual teacher. So when I read all these, I'm very grateful to our teacher who helps provide these so that we can use these as forces to develop bodhicitta. And then in the same book, there's three obstacles that prevent us from developing the altruistic intention. And the first is our preoccupation with and clinging to things of this life. And so we counteract this by thinking and meditating on impermanence. The second is clinging to the marvels of cyclic existence, which prevents our liberation. And so to counteract this obstacle, we think about cyclic existence very deeply, and how everything associated with it is a product of our misconception, and it is a source of misery. So that's also a big chunk to chew on for quite a while. And then the third obstacle is the idea that pacification of suffering and its causes for ourselves alone is enough. And so to counteract this, before undertaking any practice or positive action, we make a concerted effort again and again to arouse clearly the wish to become enlightened for all living beings. And again, when I think about how the community here is set up and what the practices are, we really do make this strong aspiration again and again and again and again. So it's really creating the cause for all of us to realize bodhicitta at some point. Now, for me personally, when I think about this sounds all well and good, but where am I in this practice? So the foundation of bodhicitta starts with equanimity. And because if we don't see all as equal, then we're caught in friend, enemy, and stranger all the time. And everything is referenced from me. You know, you're the friend, you're the stranger, you're the enemy, So my practice really is to work on equanimity, and that's what I try to do a lot. And some of the common ways to kind of work with the mind is to think that just like me, everyone, every living being, just wants happiness and not to suffer. And I've said that one a lot and meditated on it, and it's kind of helpful. But the thing that has been most helpful for my mind is to think about each being that I come in contact with and think about their continuity. So people, let's say, in this room that I have a relationship with, you know, they can be a friend one day and then the next day they do something and I get angry. Now, if I keep it based on what I'm reacting to, then I'm really not working on equanimity at all. But if I can pull back from that reaction and think about this person's continuity over many, 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 many lifetimes, then it gets really clear in my mind that they have been all these things to all beings since, you know, beginningless time, for countless lives. And that somehow, from my mind, really opens up to allow the compassion to arise, which is, oh yeah, gosh, and that's just like me. So again, you know, working with all of the teachings to find the one that works for one's own mind and heart, because what we're trying to continue to do is open our heart, because I don't want to be angry, and yet that arises still. So how can I open my heart as that starts to bubble up so that I can see the situation differently? And so one method that has been working, not perfectly of course, but you know, these are habits that have been around for, you know, eons, but nonetheless I can feel kind of a crack in this solid way that I look at people. You know, you did this and you're that. So just by looking at the person's continuity, that since beginningless time they have been all of these different characters in this play of continuity, you know, and then I can get out of how it is for me right now and open my heart and allow some love to fill my heart, so that I can drop judgment, so that I can see how we're all so similar and not make myself or the other miserable. So on a practical level, that's kind of my practice right now. And I am so thankful that there are methods and trainings and teachings and those that act from bodhicitta, so that I can get a sense of actually what that is, so that I can train this continuity to go in that direction.